The repercussions of a potentially damaging trade war between the U.S. and China. Right now, it remains a war of words between the world's two largest economies.
But yesterday, stocks plunged after the president threatened to escalate the tariff battle. And then words by his Treasury Secretary added to the fear. The Dow finished down 572 points, losing just over 2% of its value. Nikki Battiste is here with more. Nikki, good morning.
Good morning. Friday capped off a roller coaster week for the markets. The ups and downs on Wall Street reflect the back and forth between the United States and China as the two countries continue to propose tariffs on goods imported into each country. The sell-off started shortly after the start of trading Friday morning as mounting fears of a trade war with China weighed on investors.
Is this now a trade war, Mr. Secretary?
No, it's not. And our objective is still not to be in a trade war with them.
The Dow had already dropped more than 300 points by 1 p.m. Eastern when Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin appeared on CNBC.
On the one hand, we're willing to continue negotiations. On the other hand, the president is absolutely prepared to defend our interests.
Those comments didn't seem to calm the markets, with the Dow dropping more than 600 points before ticking up slightly by closing. On Friday, President Trump shook off any concerns about short-term fluctuations in a radio interview.
So we may take a hit, and you know what? Ultimately, we're going to be much stronger for it. But it's something we had to do.
The president accuses China of stealing U.S. intellectual property and other violations of global trade rules. Last month, in response, the administration announced tariffs on imported Chinese aluminum and steel. This week, China fired back, threatening to put tariffs on $50 billion worth of U.S. agricultural products like pork and soybeans. Now, President Trump is said to be considering $100 billion of additional tariffs in response.
Nothing's happened. Nothing's been executed.
White House National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow told reporters the U.S. is open to negotiations, but said there should be no doubt who's to blame.
Blame China. Don't blame the administration. Don't blame Japan. Don't blame Europe. Blame China, because they have to put their best foot forward and act like a world power.
The worry is extending all the way to the Fed. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says businesses are expressing their concern and that the prospect of a trade war with China was discussed at the Fed's March meeting. Anthony?
Nikki Battiste, thanks, Nikki.